Ken Klippenstein of TYT Investigates got us a doozy here, y'all. Take a look. Tijuana tear gas maker is Cory Booker backer. Ugh. Corporatist gonna corporatist. Come on, man. And he'll find a way. He does this all the time. Like, he'll get caught, and he'll be like, but, what had happened was, I was thinking that when I said that no, we shouldn't re-import the medicine, the Bernie Sanders provision for cheaper pharma drugs, I wanted to bet better regulation with the FDA involved, and we didn't have the FDA involved, even though those medicines are already safe because they regulate them even stronger in Canada. But I just wanted the FDA involved, so I wasn't stonewalling because I take money from Big Pharma. Here, I'm going to propose my own example, my own version of the same thing. Here, boom. Let's re-import drugs and make it cheaper. You're so full. He gets caught red-handed, and then he has to weasel his way out of it. Why would you not instead support a politician who doesn't have to weasel their way out of anything because they're upfront with you and they just vote the right way without you having to push them? That's my question. So, and by the way, to be clear, is another clear example. What does he do? He's caught on this. He goes, "Oh yeah, I condemn what's happening at the border. I can't believe it's barbaric what they're doing." I agree. So maybe you should stop taking money from the people who are responsible for the weapons being used there. Just a thought. All right. So here's what he says. The head of the company that makes tear gas used on migrants at the Tijuana border is also a backer of Senator Cory Booker, who donated money to Booker's most recent campaign and served on the host committee for a Booker fundraiser record show. Warren Kanders is the head of Safariland, a defense supplies vendor that reportedly supplied at least some of the chemical agents used by Customs and Border Protection this weekend on migrants, including women and children. Safariland products were also linked to the police crackdown in Ferguson, Missouri, in 2014, and the serious injuries sustained by water rights activists at Standing Rock in 2016. More recently, TYZ reported that Immigration and Customs Enforcement had purchased a Safariland product called the Transport Hood that covers detainees' mouths and part of their faces. The California and Florida-based company is owned by Kanders, who also serves as its CEO. Kanders has a significant history of political donations, having contributed large sums of money, mostly to the Republican Party, but more recently to two high-profile Democrats, Cory Booker and Hillary Clinton, according to FEC data revealed by TYT. In 2013, Kanders gave Booker $10,400. The contributions exceeded campaign finance limits, and the campaign refunded $5,200. Kanders' wife Allison also contributed to Cory Booker the same year, to the exclusion of any other candidates, doling out $10,400, half of which was also refunded. The same year, Kanders and his wife both served as members of the host committee for a private fundraiser benefiting Booker's campaign. The fundraiser was held July 2nd, 2013, and tickets cost between $1,000 and $5,000. The following year, Kanders gave $5,000 to the Booker Senate Victory Fund. Booker has been an outspoken critic of the Trump administration's treatment of migrants and asylum seekers, calling the recent use of chemical agents ugly, cruel, and cowardly. Now, I want to take a minute here to dig a little deeper. Let's see what the ACLU says about this. Tear gas has been outlawed as a method of warfare on the battlefield by almost every country in the world. U.S. law enforcement still uses it against its own citizens and against largely peaceful men, women, and children attempting to seek asylum. Listen, Cory Booker, and you go back, he used to go on Bill Maher's show quite a bit. You go back and you watch those episodes. Cory Booker's whole shtick is, me? I'm just a reasonable centrist. I'm a moderate. I believe in compromise and negotiation and bipartisanship. Now, recently he's become a little more savvy, and he realizes, oh my goodness, all of the energy in the party is on the left. All the energy in the party is with the Bernie Sanders types. So he's pivoting left to try to save his political career. But you go back and you watch, and that's everything. He said, oh, I'm reasonable, I'm moderate, I'm a centrist. I take a lot of money from Wall Street. I support charter schools. I take a lot of money from Big Pharma. I think the number one, Big Pharma contributes to him more than anybody else. He's number one. So what you have here is a guy who loves the system, who believes in the system, who thinks the system is legitimate and functioning properly. And And that's the problem. That's the problem with Cory Booker, is that he's not going to significantly change stuff. He thinks everything's great. He thinks you cut some bipartisan deals with Republicans, you do some bullshit half measure, and you move along, and you call yourself a giant success, and you pat yourself on the back. And that's the problem. The thing is, I don't think it occurred to him for even a split second to be concerned about where his money's coming from, and that some of the money is coming from somebody making tear gas or, defense contractors more broadly. That doesn't bother him. Now, somebody like Bernie, most of his money comes from small dollar donations, but the money that doesn't come from small dollar donations, it comes from technically under law large donations, but still from regular people. So anything over $200 as a political donation under law is considered a large donation. But that's not the same kind of large donation that you and I think of when we think of a big donor. We think of fucking hedge fund people or corporate PACs, or that's a big donor to us. So even Bernie's big donations are not big donations. It's just, some fucking teacher in Sacramento who's given, hey, I want to give him $400, So, and then outside of that, the only PAC money he's taken, I think, is from labor PACs, so like unions. So Bernie would only take that kind of money from people who he feels like there's no conflict with his actual ideology. Like, my ideology is pro-worker. My ideology is, against the rapacious health insurance industry. My ideology is against war, against corruption. So you see the sources that he takes from back that up. They buttress that ideology. Well, Cory Booker, he's got pharma money in there. He's got health insurance company money in there. He's got Wall Street money in there. He's got, now we know, tear gas money in there, defense contractor money in there, and that's the problem. We don't trust you. And we shouldn't trust you. Because as you're going to go out in front of us now and talk a good game, your donors will be on the opposite side of what we want, and then there's going to be a conflict in your head. What do I do? See, it's fine for you to come out there and condemn it. Good, I'm happy you condemn what's happening at the border. But if Cory Booker's president, what then? What do you do next? Because what matters is the policy. And if your policy is even going to be 15% more kind to special interests that are odious interests, that's a problem. And that's what we're going to get. So Cory Booker, yet again, showing himself to be Cory Booker and being a corporatist. And I can't wait for him to run in 2020. I can't, seriously. Because I want to see a bunch of corporatists running, because there's going to be some leftists running, so you need more corporatists running. So Cory Booker, hop in there. Kamala Harris, hop in there. Hillary, hop in there. Let's have a wild, wild West style primary here, where you got 6 corporatists on stage and 4 lefties on stage, and you guys just go at it. And then I think Bernie will be the one who walks out the victor. And there's a reason why he's the most popular politician in the country. And when you read stories like this, you're reminded of that.